Hello, everybody, and welcome to News and Views for August the 7th, 2025. We're leading off today with an announcement from the province of Manitoba that they are extending the provincial state of emergency until August 22nd. That state of emergency was first declared on July 10th due to the wildfires, and at this time, the fire danger remains high to very high across the province in several areas. There are 159 active fires right now. It is apparently the worst wildfire season on record for the last 30 years. So please be safe out there if you're traveling in the east, in the north. Where we are specifically, we are sort of south and west of where most of the fires are burning. So our major concern here in the Neepawa area is the air quality warnings that we are seeing as the plumes of smoke come south across us. If you're outside today, you'll notice it is a very hazy, smoky day again today. Please be safe out there and maintain awareness of what is going on in your area of the province as this state of emergency continues across Manitoba. On with our show for this week, we have 3 items that we're covering from the past week of events. First of all, we have an interview with Jeff Desender of Frozen Fire Studios. He and his studio have been nominated in a couple of awards again this year. And so we talked to him about the work that the studio does, and the studio is right here, just outside Neepawa, and the various initiatives they're involved with, including a lot of initiatives around mental health. So a very interesting studio, and congratulations to them on the nominations. We wish them the best in this competition. We are also out at the Manitoba Youth Brief Roundup. This is held every summer in Neepawa. And this combines education and show competition for youth aged 6 to 25. And this is everything from grooming the cattle right on through marketing, right on through things like arts and photography. So really a lot of competitive events and also educational events for youth that happens here every summer. We already have the dates for next year. So we have some clips of several of those on the show today to kind of see what that is all about. And as well, we have some clips of something that happened here. We are working on a summer-long training program with a group of students through the SWIS program, which is Settlement Workers in Schools, out of the Neepawa Area Immigrant Settlement Services Office. And this week we did an in-studio session teaching about interviewing. And so we have some great clips of the students in here learning from one of our seasoned interviewers about how to conduct that. And we hope to see them themselves as interviewers in future programs on the station. If you have anything that's going on this weekend, next weekend, any weekend or week that we could get out and cover, or that you can send us clips of, if you're attending something that you think would be of particular interest to our audience, please get in touch with us. You can reach us anytime at 204-476-2639 or by email nactv@wcgwave.ca. Thanks and enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, I'm your host today, Kira McKay, and with me is Jeff Desender from Frozen Fire Studios. You can give us a little introduction.
Hey everyone.
Jeff's been here a lot apparently, and I'm the summer student trying to pull people in, and I saw the other day, when did I contact you? It was early this week, Monday maybe, that they have been nominated. Is it just you and Frozen Fire? Assuming you're a group of people?
Well, it's actually owned by me, and then there's several casual engineers.
Okay.
So rather they're in the studio or they're live, where basically we can work both sides of the spectrum, right? And then when it comes to digital design or the mental health initiative, stuff like that, that's a lot more me. Yeah. It requires more time and more input, right?
Yeah. And so I saw that you were nominated, and that was for Studio of the Year and Engineer of the Year.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this would be a great topic. So here we are today. And you said this was your 3rd time being nominated?
With Manitoba Loud Music Awards, yes, actually. We were nominated twice for Studio of the Year in 22 and 23. And then now this year is the Studio of the Year nomination again. And then I personally got nominated for Engineer of the Year.
And that was the first.
And that was the first that nominated for that one. So kind of riding high on that one.
That sounds fun. And I'm not very familiar with the, the Manitoba Loud Music Awards. Like, what is it generally? Like, what's it for?
It is for what, well, a lot of us musicians like to deem as an underappreciated genre.
Mm-hmm.
So then it focuses more on like rock and down into like death metal and all the heavier music that doesn't get the appreciation that it deserves for its creativity, right? And that's really what the founder of it was focused on. He wants to bring the light to all those hard-working musicians and people behind the scenes working with those bands to be able to, showcase that they are here, they are a genre, they are equally important as someone in country or pop or R&B, right?
Yeah, and do you feel like, well, I guess that's already in its goal, but do you really feel that rock and heavy metal, especially in Manitoba, is like a lot more underappreciated than like country, per se?
I would say country in Manitoba seems to be the top percentage. But I mean, a lot of those country folk, you go and you turn on, like Foreigner, Def Leppard, or even go to Metallica or Motley Crue, things like that. You turn that on, and I'm going to say probably 8 out of 10 people, they're going to be singing along or they're going to be dancing to it, right? It's just known fact.
Yeah, and so they have you on for Studio of the Year. Does your studio focus a lot on like rock, death metal, these genres?
We actually work with country, a few folk artists. We've worked with rock, we work with metal, alternative rock, the odd like R&B, rap kind of genres there too. So we kind of work across the board. We kind of stay away from like what they call EDM.
Yeah.
Right? We kind of avoid that because that's a lot of digitalized stuff, right? So then it's very time consuming, and just a lot of the time we believe a musician is trying to tell a story through their instrumentals. So that when it gets to someone else digitalizing it, it's very likely you're going to miss the point of what the original writer was going for, right?
Yeah, I'm not so big on EDM. I'm more of an indie person.
Okay.
I also like alternative rock, a lot of that too. And have you have you watched, what was that show that just came out, the new Superman? Well, I don't know how that's relevant right now. I don't know. I just like their playlist. I think it's a little.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard a couple times of the playlist, and
it's great.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
great.
nice.
I don't know if you like James Gunn, but I love his movies.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good. Yeah.
And I also want to touch up on you being nominated for the Engineer of the Year award. Kind of, what does that entail?
Just basically like guy that works aboard.
Yeah, that works aboard. It's like
right?
on like the music, or just like generally.
Basically, you set up the stage, the band plugs in, and as the band starts playing, you're controlling what the crowd is getting for their sound. Right?
Oh yeah.
So
because I do remember, like, usually, like, I was taught a little bit in school, like we have a board. There are like a bunch of, I can't even explain. I forgot what they all are, but we have so many options for like how the things are gonna sound.
Yep.
Yeah, all of that. Okay.
And that's essentially that's an engineer, audio engineer. We're not doing anything with video. Your side would be more like a video engineer, right? Part of your videography.
Yeah. I think music's really fun too. I would, be interested in getting into that at some point. So that's cool. What are some like goals of Frozen Fire Studios?
Well, that's always a hard question, because I know when I started Frozen Fire years ago, the one goal I had in mind is I wanted to be kind of that open-minded, love everyone and love what you do kind of studio. So you were never a client, you were a family member, right? And I ran with that for years, and I still do. I still currently do. And that was my only goal I had set. And then next thing you know, we've kind of blown up, right? Like we're known all over Manitoba. I've done work for artists in the States. We've got several award nominations nationally and provincially. So I think like our biggest goal now is hopefully we can expand and just bring that experience that everyone is showcasing that they love and bring it to more people in different communities, right?
So like starting with a good, genuine reason, and it still stays that way. That's good. I thought you were gonna be like, oh no, we got like really upset and things went south, but here we are.
No. Anyone who knows me will openly tell you I'm about as genuine as it gets. I tell it as it is, and I think a lot of people have learned to appreciate that. Like, I mean, there is the odd one that doesn't like brutal honesty, but I mean, at the end of the day, right? Would you rather someone be honest or just drag you along and take money out of your pocket, right?
Yeah.
Whereas we're not about that. We do it for the love of the music, the love of the craft, and that's all we've ever done it for.
Yeah.
The money is something you deal with later. As long if you get to be part of helping a musician tell their story, why would you not do it?
Yeah. I think
Right.
something shared along artists is, that need for people to really appreciate the craft. And like, because I'm also more of a like digital artist, that kind of stuff. I like to do graphics, I like to paint. And I see some people talk about how, even with your clients, you have to like tell them like, are you making this decision based on your personal interest? Is this really what's needed? Is this really what's for the craft, or is it just you feel that way? That kind of thing. And I guess that's something you tackle with a lot with your clients too.
Well, yeah, like very much of like, what emotion are you trying to portray here? Because if you're going to play this high note in this spot, that sounds a little too bright. If you're going for kind of that melodramatic tone, right? This kind of throws your whole mix off, right? So then we have to try to help them bring that back to the rest of the mix, so it expresses what the raw emotion is when they wrote the track, right?
Have there been any clients that were really hard to, explain these things to?
There normally is. Like you get your newer musicians and stuff that, they're learning the ropes, and they're very good with their instruments and what they do behind the microphone, but anything that comes past the microphone is where they need assistance, right? Where it may sound, just because it sounds great live, there's a whole lot more to the studio side than there is to the live side, right? Yeah. So then with that, it's just them having to transition to those changes. And that's where guys that love the craft, like me and a couple other studios that are in Manitoba here, that I personally know, that is what we're about. We try to make sure that they're going to understand. We don't get mad. We're not impatient with it. We're not anything like that, right? It's we all started somewhere once. Yeah. We all had the same questions and had to be led down that path, right? So if you have someone that can do that early on in your career, why not take the chance at it, right?
Yeah. And what are some like future plans you're currently into? Like what are you currently working on that you can share with us?
Currently, right now, actually, we are working on building a bigger and better sober social. And yeah, we're going to keep it local at home for those that know what it is. From there, we're actually, a little bit of a teaser, we're actually looking at, between myself and a few other music industry friends, we're looking at potentially bringing a festival to Neepawa. Because a lot of us, we remember the Lily Festival. I don't know if you were around
I was talking about it with Rain recently. I was like, I heard of it. Why did it disappear?
And I mean, I get it. It's hard with sponsors. And I mean, with the way the economy and society is right now, I get why there's not a lot of sponsors. I fully understand it, right? Especially being a business owner. Yeah. But I mean, if you have the right thing for the right reasons, a lot of people will invest. And I mean, rather it's $20, it's still them going like, hey, this is my hard-earned money. I want to be a part of this, right? Yeah. And a lot of times it's, most places here, they'll always sponsor you if they can, right? If the cause is there. And I mean, music festival is one thing. I've sat back and like a lot of the business owners now are friends, or I have some relation to them in one way or another, like an acquaintance or whatever, right? Because it's kind of my generation that has now taken over for the parents, right? So then with that, it's not as hard to approach people with these things. And we grew up with that Lily Festival here. So then when you get in conversations and stuff like that, it's always like, we need something with music, because they used to have a beautiful setup right on Hamilton Street, and there'd be vendors galore, food trucks galore. They had a beer gardens. There was live bands playing at all times, and it lit up Neepawa, right? And we'd have people from far and wide coming here specifically for that festival. So then a couple industry buddies and I sat down and we're kind of like, is this something we could bring here? Like the newer age, they want kind of that mixture of country up to metal, right? Because there is some people here that love their metal music, right? So then we're trying to figure out how can you structure that throughout a day and give everyone ample time so they can be seen, they can be heard, they can do what they want to do, and doesn't interfere with anything else going on. There's a lot of variables in it, but it's one thing that I'm quite honestly like excited once
Yeah.
it kind of comes to.
I think it would be pretty successful, and I think Neepawa needs something like what Lilyfest was. I mean, I haven't seen it, but like I do think Neepawa needs something for everyone, because like we do have like a whole Filipino heritage going on, and that's
Yeah.
successful. And seeing that successful, I think other things can be too, and especially one that's for everyone here, right? So I think if you did a music festival, that would be great.
Well,
And
that's
I would
just
love to see
it.
it too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you've got things like Kaleidoscope here. If you've ever heard of them,
No,
they have like I think it's Manitoba country music artists and a bunch of other like Manitoba based artists that they'll come in and they'll put on a show at like the Roxy Theater or Arts Forward. Arts Forward normally tries to do what they can
Yeah.
for the arts in the community, right? Just like the rest of us. And from there, like there's always tons of people trying to bring this stuff in, and then you just got to get the right ones in your corner,
Yeah.
right? And then it always comes to fruition. I know, like Riverbend Market, the odd time, I had 4 or 5 bands play there one year on the stage, and then we had an acoustic act this year. Actually, look at one of the guitar players out of my band. He came and played some cover songs and stuff. Then we've tried to help like Neepawa tourism and that kind of promote that stage that's down at the flats for like busking and people to put on shows and whatever else down there, right? Because that's essentially what it was put there for, right? Just people to kind of have that outdoor stage if they wanted it. And there's tons of things going on in Neepawa that kind of I think could use a lot of promotion and everything else, right?
I hope that'll happen. I hope someone makes it happen. I'm trying to make things happen. I think being in NACTV really gives me, a little place that I can do something. I could put people out there, be like, hey, someone's doing this. So, hopefully we get that. And I think busking's a cool idea. I used to busk in the Philippines, and
Oh yeah,
it's fun. Yeah, I was more of a cosplay busker than a performer or singing performance busker. So I
Okay.
think if we had the flats for that, would be really great. I mean, it's already there, so if you want to go do something, you totally should. It's fun. Coming from personal experience, busking's really fun. As long as we get people too going out to watch them, right? Because then if you're just kind of by yourself, it's not as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of businesses too uptown that they would let you busk in front of their store.
Yeah.
I mean, within reason.
Yeah.
If you're gonna come up there and it's like nails on a chalkboard or something, I mean, at that point they may or may not, right? But they'll always support you, and like a lot of us locals here, that's what it's about, right? Like we want to help build everybody up, and we want to see everyone succeed. And it's never for a personal gain or anything like that. There's no hidden agenda. It's we just love our community and we want to see it flourish in whatever avenues come its way, right?
Yeah. Has there been anything like challenging lately for you and for Frozen Fire Studios?
I think the most challenging thing was the shutdowns due to the pandemic. Aside from that, not really.
Not really.
No, I'm normally kept pretty busy because, like I said, on the tourism board and stuff here as well. I mean, between that and then family life and business and I'm a pretty busy guy. So, to me, I haven't noticed any declines in anything like that. I mean, you do see a lot of, I guess, live music. If I had to call out on anything, would probably be since the pandemic, live music has taken a huge drop in the amount of shows going on, everything else, right? And it's slowly starting to climb back up now, but I mean, there used to be a show every single night of the week before the pandemic, and now you're probably 3-4 out of 7 days, if that.
Yeah. I also think if Brews had like someone performing every now and then over there, live music would be really nice. Because like in Brandon, they have, Shay Angela?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they always have performers over there. It's great.
Club 1202 does Saturday nights with performers. I'm trying to think of any of the other little ones that do. No, I think that's about it. Chez Angela's and yeah, Club Tova too.
Yeah. So if we had one here, that would be nice. Well, I guess I could make that personal suggestion if I knew some artists around here, or personally. I mean, you probably know some.
Oh yeah,
or
I know.
more, a lot actually.
Yeah, I know a lot from here, the area, Brandon, pretty much all over West, man. Yeah.
And circling back to the Manitoba Loud Music Awards,
Absolutely.
voting starts August 1, which is tomorrow, and probably past that once this is airing. How can we vote for you? Assuming we can vote, right?
Yeah, you would actually go to Manitoba Loud, I think it's manitobaloudawards.com/vote, I believe it is. And then you would go there and then you would just work through the prompts. And then you'll see me personally there for Engineer of the Year, and then Frozen Fire will be there for Studio of the Year, and you just vote for whoever you think is a good fit.
And there you have it, folks. That should be pretty simple. Yeah. And do you have any final messages for anyone or for our viewers?
No, not really. Feel free. You want to chit chat about what we do, or just want to chit chat in general. I'm a pretty chatty individual. Feel free to hop on our Facebook or Instagram page, or if you see the big black diesel rolling around, my number's plastered everywhere on it. Feel free to text it.
All right. And thanks for coming along and watching our show. We'll see you again next time. Bye.
Roundup, the 10th annual Manitoba Youth Beef Roundup is well underway. They've got their cattle all in, and there's a lot more to it than a show. And all these are farm skills that need to be not mastered as an individual, but be familiar with. And it's pretty fascinating to see the kids.
The kids are going to be doing Station 1 is right up here in the ring. It's the grease gun challenge. They have to change the cartridge in a grease gun. They have to take out an empty cartridge, install a new one, and then pump 2 shots of grease into a rag. The second challenge is the artificial insemination challenge. It's over here with Bert and Andre. That's teams 3 and 4. They're going to pick the correct semen from a tank. The tank has 3 different bulls in it. They're told which bull they have to pick from. They have to load an AI gun and insert the gun through a cervix and deposit the semen. It's all artificial, but it gives them a good idea what's going on. Station 3 is all along the back of the tent. It's make a hot wire gate competition. All their supplies are there. They're going to go out and make a hot wire gate. All of these events are timed. Station 4 is build a panel pen. They're going to go down by the windbreak fence. 2 teams at a time are doing all this. They will carry panels to a designated spot and set up a pen, and they're going to pin their Pee-wee members. They're going to be inside that pen. Then they have to take it down and put it back so it's ready for the next team. Station 5 is tattoo and make a halter. That's over here against this building right here in the north. They tattoo a cardboard here. They're going to load the numbers team into a tattoo pliers, tattoo a cardboard here, unload that, and put in the number of their team and tattoo that as well. Then they have to tag it with just an ordinary tag, and then they have to make a rope halter. Station 6 is down here to identify the feeds. They have to identify what feed they have, and then tell us whether it's an energy source, a protein or a supplement source, or a fiber source. Parts of the steer challenge, section 8, that's way over on the far wall. They are going to get the younger members will get a part of an animal that they have to identify and place a sticker on the animal. The older members will get a cut of meat, and it has to be placed on the animal where that comes from on the carcass. And our last but not least, our shoot challenge is station 9 right here. They have to set up a shoot. Set up a shoot correctly and then take it down. And then all this will be timed. If they make mistakes, that's fine. But they've been explained it's going to be like a chuck wagon thing if they make a mistake.
also because part of what you do when you look at interviewing is how you present on the screen. All right? So we're just going to talk about interviewing in generally. There's all sorts of different kinds of interviews, and with different kinds of interviews, as an interviewer, you approach it differently. But we're just going to talk generally, okay? Interviewing is where you get a chance to find out something about what's going on, usually because you're talking to a person who's involved in whatever it is. There are all kinds of interviewers. There are investigative journal interviewers that ask very specific, hard questions directed to get particular information, also perhaps to provoke the person they're interviewing. Because in an interview, there's always two components. There is typically one interviewer and usually at least one, if not more, interviewees, people being interviewed. So when you're looking at interviewing, you're right, it's about asking questions. But when you're doing most of your interviewing, it really helps if you think about it as a conversation. You get more out of people if you're not sitting there and having a whole list of questions that you're reading and you're asking. It's always good to have some questions in mind, but you want to have a conversation. So when I ask you a question, I'm really interested in what you are going to say. You've got to try and figure out, what are you interviewing for? Like, what is the person? Why are you interviewing that person or person? And then from there, as an interviewer, you start thinking about, well, what questions could I ask that gets them to talk? So if I were looking at interviewing you for soccer, what do you think some of the questions might be that I could ask as an interviewer? What do you think?
Who might win the competition?
That's a good question, yes. You could ask how well they think you're going to do. Anybody else have any other question? You said you have a question?
Why did you start playing soccer?
Very good question. It's always good. That's a very good general question, actually, to start with. Why are you doing this? Why do you like doing what you're doing? That's always a good way as an interviewer to ease the tension, to get the conversation started, because the bottom line, an interview is a conversation. Now, you're quite comfortable having conversations with the people you know, right? Your friends, your family, somebody you're really interested in. So when you're an interviewer, you are looking to say, let's start the conversation. Let's ask somebody something that you know they probably got an answer to. And in this case, exactly that question, why are you? Why are you interested in soccer? So I would ask the question, so you play soccer. What interests you about soccer? Why soccer?
It's like, what interests me in soccer is like where like lots of people motivate you, and like in my like soccer time, like when you get a goal, like anyone gets a goal on your team, they would just like actually be so happy, like for you if you just like score any type of goal. Yeah.
So you like playing? Do you like team sports? You like playing with a group of others?
Team sportsmanship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good for you. So what do you plan to do with it? Do you plan to keep playing soccer at this level? Do you want to play it in high school?
I'm like a multi-athlete, so I do any sport I can sign up for.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Now, I've just learned something from her. It's not just soccer. She's interested in other kinds of sports. So questions are keys to getting people to talk. It's a conversation. If you look at an interview as having a conversation as opposed to, I'm going to grill you about what you do and what you don't do, but as a conversation between, often what the person tells you or how the person answers gives you a cue to another question. Come prepared with a couple of questions. Have some idea about what you're talking about. And if you don't, you can even use that as a question. I don't know much about soccer, so can you explain it to me?